Security camera of room 324 of Riverside Hospital, 2:19 p.m.
That's a rather strange name for a pony. Lovejoy?
Resto raised an eyebrow.
What? I didn't choose it. Oh, before we get started, would it be too much trouble to take your picture?
The changeling looked at his restraints.
There's not much I could do anyway.
Give me a moment.
The unicorn walked behind the curtain for a moment, before returning with a camera and a tripod.
In case you're curious, I have a hobby in photography, something I'm planning to do full-time soon.
What does that mean?
The stallion set the camera beside the lower right hoof corner of the bed, making a few adjustments.
I'm afraid that this will be my last day at the hospital, for you see, I'm going to be retired very soon and finally get to do what I love.
I suppose that makes sense. So, do you want me to do anything? Change into some pony or...
No, just the way you are is perfect. Now, please look just above the camera. Yes, like that. Now, hold still for a moment. There we go. Now that that's out of the way, let's get down to business.
Okay, so what do you want from me?
First of all,
Dr. Lovejoy took out a pocket watch.
I want to say thank you so much.
The changeling tilted his head.
For what? Having my picture taken?
Well, that, and for assisting me earlier a couple of days ago. Really, you've been a huge help.
I still don't understand.
You will in a moment.
The elderly stallion moved over to the machine that was measuring his vitals.
So, are you sure you don't recognize me in any way?
Resto shook his head.
To tell you the truth, it's quite a coincidence that you were found at sanctuaries. It's the same place that I practiced in before I came here.
Resto's expression drooped.
You did?
Oh yes. Very noisy places, I remember. So many random screams, so many mad ramblings about nothing, and quite the hotbed for experimentation in the field of medicine. But it was an enlightening place to be before I earned my degree.
He looked over to the changeling.
Do you feel a little paranoid right now?
He nodded.
Ah, that's good. Very good.
The old stallion softly smiled.
You're almost ready.
Ready? For what?
In good time.
He said, looking at the bag.
We just need the liquid fungus from sanctuaries to kick in. After it's in your bloodstream, I'll inform my old mentor that you're ready.
What mentor?
Resto demanded nervously.
What is this all for?
Why, it's for the procedure, of course. Surely, you've already become acquainted with my teacher, Dr. Redcross.
Helmet camera from Officer Thunderclap, Sanctuary Mental Hospital, 3:24 p.m.
Jeez, it's hard to breathe in here. It must be from all the dust.
Thunderclap said, pulling up one of the bookshelves in one of the hospital's libraries. When they entered, there was black mold spread across the ceiling. Dust was powdered over the floor, tables, chairs, and overturned bookshelves.
You okay?
The pony looked into the camera and nodded.
Yeah, I am. I guess I'm a bit tired is all. And it's really hot underneath this mask. Don't worry.
The camera looked down at the officer's hooves, which were turning over some books.
Just a few more minutes and we'll be out of here. Do you think Resto was lying? Huh?
The camera looked back at him.
You mean the bug? I don't know. I guess it's very probable at this point, considering some of the inconsistencies he told you. Like what? Like how he talked about this place being lit up, even though all the power has been cut. which still doesn't explain how that Mary got electrocuted.
He could have used magic. After all, some unicorns can charge batteries, so perhaps Resto used his magic to charge the machine before he threw the switch. Anything else?
Well, remember how he described Dr. Redcross? The same guy that the historians found out to be one of the doctors that used to run this place? You have seen a photo of the guy himself, right?
Not yet. Why?
The cutie mark that he described didn't match. The real Red Cross had just that. A simple red cross. It didn't have two snakes circling around it.
Mind showing me this picture sometime? I think it would help with the case at Hoof.
The detective said as they moved another bookshelf and suddenly jumped.
Whoa! What is it?
The camera moved closer to the pony.
What'd you find?
The officer looked over to what he was seeing.
Is that a mannequin?
A hoof reached into the frame, pulling out the other half of the life-size doll from underneath, in which they found that this white mannequin was unique. Its limbs had joints in which it could move, and it had on an old nurse's hat, complete with a yellowing uniform.
Now what is this doing out here for? The uniform is old, but the mannequin itself looks a little new.
A thought came to the officer's head.
Did any pony say why the 3 victims came here in the first place?
I think it was something to do with seeing if there's any ghost in this place. Wait.
The detective looked down.
What if they were trying to film a hoax, and this was supposed to be the ghost?
Interesting. But why would it be here? We're practically on the other side of the place where the victims were found.
While Officer Thunderclap said this, Hoof Print leaned toward the dark space that the mannequin was pulled out from.
Hey, flash your light in there. I think I see something.
The camera tilted before the lights on the helmet dipped into the dark hole, illuminating underneath the overturned table to reveal dusty books and a video camera.
Jackpot!
The officer reached in, grabbing onto the camera. After getting out from underneath, he opened the tiny screen. He pressed a few buttons, but nothing happened.
Maybe the batteries are dead.
Hoof Print took it into his own hooves.
Hopefully this will explain what's going on.
There was a crackling sound of a hoof-held radio before the officer's camera picked up.
Detective Print, Officer Thunderclap, come in please. Over.
The gray detective reached for the speaker.
Yes, we're here. We found some interesting evidence and the missing camera. Over.
Never mind that for now. We need you over at Riverside Hospital immediately. Something's happened to the Changeling.